What would you do if you were publicly humiliated, blamed for a mistake you didn't make, and escorted out of your workplace in front of everyone? In today's powerful story, a hardworking single dad is thrown out by a CEO who believes she has found someone to blame. But what happens next changes everything. When the chairman uncovers the truth, the tables turn in a way nobody saw coming. Stay with us until the end to witness an inspiring story of justice and unexpected redemption. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe for more amazing stories. And now let's get started. Ethan Carter's day began before sunrise, in a quiet neighborhood outside New York City. As a single father, his mornings were always busy. He prepared breakfast for his 8-year-old daughter, Lily, helped her get ready for school, and made sure her backpack was packed before driving her to class. Despite the challenges of raising a child alone, Ethan never complained. He believed hard work and integrity would provide a better future for his daughter. After dropping Lily off, Ethan headed to the headquarters of one of the country's largest investment firms. He had spent years building a reputation as a talented financial analyst. Colleagues respected his intelligence. Though many barely knew him personally, Ethan preferred focusing on his work rather than office politics. That morning, however, the atmosphere felt different. Employees whispered in hallways and exchanged nervous glances as he walked by. A major investment deal had collapsed overnight, costing the company millions of dollars. Rumors spread quickly, and before Ethan could even settle into his office, he received a message ordering him to report to the executive conference room immediately. Inside, CEO Victoria Hayes sat at the head of the table, surrounded by senior executives. Her expression was cold and determined. Without offering a greeting, she accused Ethan of leaking confidential information connected to the failed deal. The room fell silent. Ethan was stunned. He calmly explained that he had never shared company information and had actually submitted reports warning management about serious risks associated with the investment. Victoria refused to listen, convinced she had found someone to blame. She interrupted every attempt Ethan made to defend himself. Finally, she signaled to security officers standing near the door. The guards approached respectfully but firmly. Employees watched from their offices as Ethan packed a few personal belongings into a small box. The walk through the lobby felt endless. Some coworkers lowered their eyes while others stared in disbelief. Though embarrassed and deeply hurt, Ethan remained composed as the doors closed behind him. He took one last look at the building and walked away, unaware that everything was about to change. Just hours after Ethan Carter had been escorted from the building, tension spread throughout the company's headquarters. Employees whispered about what had happened, and many questioned whether the CEO had acted too quickly. Meanwhile, Chairman Margaret Sullivan arrived unexpectedly for an emergency board meeting. Known for her sharp judgment and unwillingness to tolerate incompetence, she immediately requested every report related to the failed investment deal as Margaret reviewed the documents. Her expression grew increasingly serious. Buried among hundreds of pages were several risk assessments written by Ethan weeks earlier. The reports clearly warned that the investment carried major financial dangers and recommended delaying approval until further analysis could be completed. Even more troubling, Margaret discovered email records, proving that senior executives had received Ethan's warnings but chose to ignore them. The boardroom became silent as Margaret laid the evidence on the table. She demanded an explanation from CEO Victoria Hayes, and the executives who had supported the decision. No one could provide a convincing answer. Instead, it became obvious that Ethan had been used as a scapegoat. After the deal collapsed, furious, Margaret ordered Ethan to be contacted immediately. An hour later, he returned to headquarters, confused about why he had been called back. As he entered the boardroom, every executive turned toward him. The same people who had watched him leave in disgrace now avoided eye contact. Margaret stood and addressed the room. She publicly acknowledged Ethan's professionalism, honesty, and courage in speaking up when others remained silent. Then she announced that the board had lost confidence in Victoria's leadership. Shock spread across the room as Margaret asked the CEO to step aside. Turning to Ethan, Margaret invited him to take a seat at the executive table. Then came an even bigger surprise. She appointed him interim CEO, citing his judgment and integrity as qualities the company desperately needed. The room fell completely silent. The single dad who had been escorted out just hours earlier had returned stronger than ever, earning the respect and authority he truly deserved.